we played inspired basketball for each other. We've talked about that many times. It's about playing for each other, and we've been doing that all year, and it's probably our best stretch of basketball.
You turn the ball over against these guys, you'd prefer to, drop kick it into the stands so that at least you can set your defense. But, their attack in transition killed us. And in each of these two games, I think that our offense and our turnovers and that run separated the game. Last game it was in the first quarter. Today it was in the third quarter. And, they made us pay for it.
Scotty Rude, the Wizards, we saw really took control of Game 4 in the third quarter, going on a 26-0 run that put the game out of reach. Celtics have laid some eggs in this series. Take a look at some big quarters that have gone in Washington's favor here. What adjustments do the Celtics need to make to avoid giving up big runs like what we're looking at?
I think that their key defenders need to be on the floor more with more cohesive unit. I think that Brad Stevens probably needs to more designate in a strict fashion players to guard, particularly Beal and John Wall. They have, in my opinion, better than most teams, great on-ball defenders. Jay Crowder, Avery Bradley, Marcus Smart. Two of them need to be on the floor whenever the starting backcourt is on the floor for Washington. They also need to win Game 5. The Wizards are 5-0 on their home floor in this postseason. I can't see Boston defeating the Wizards over 48 minutes in Game 6. So even though they still have home court advantage, I think that Game 5 is more of a must-win actually for the favorites in the Boston Celtics. They will need to win that game. Otherwise, I think it's closed out in 6 by Washington. They have the best player. In order for Boston to make adjustments, aside from who will start for Brad Stevens between Amir Johnson and Gerald Green, the big versus small philosophy, respectively. Amir Johnson started. He was not the problem. In fact, Johnson had the 5 points for Boston before that 26-0 spurt started for the Wizards. Gerald Green checked in for him, and it began. Gerald Green compromises their defense. Yes, they need Al Horford to score 15-plus points. They need for a third scorer to score 15 points. Isaiah Thomas needs to score 20-plus.
Yeah.
If that happens, and they then play defensive-oriented basketball, I think they win this series in 7.
If the Wizards are able to shut down Isaiah Thomas, do you think that the Celtics have a good enough team to be able to beat the Wizards?
In fact, remember, they won 6 straight. They won the games 3 through 6 against Chicago, and then they won the first 2 games in this series. And in one of those games, Thomas laid an egg, and with it, he got huge support by Avery Bradley and Al Horford in particular. Those are probably the guys. Kelly Olynyk can do it as well. Between Olynyk, Horford, Avery Bradley, that is where they're going to get their offensive support. They need 3 of them to play well offensively, and they need to have the 3 stoppers I alluded to, Smart, Bradley, and Crowder. At least 2 of them have to always be on the floor when the Washington starting backcourt is on the floor.
We're going to have more NBA playoff discussion still ahead, so hang tight, Scott.